Hello, guys. Welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. I hope you guys are doing fabulously. I hope you had a great weekend. And before we get started, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification as I try to grow this channel and motivate as many people as possible in these YouTube streets, and the bell notification so that you will be notified every time I drop a new video. So you guys know, I started this series because I know that Monday is not everyone's favorite day of the week. Sometimes it can be a little rough, and sometimes it can just put you in a whole mood. And it doesn't have to be that way, right? So let's jump into this week's video, which is how to get out of a rut. I think a lot of us can relate to that, with the past year that we've had, where a lot of us have been isolated and some of us haven't been working. And, it just kind of put a lot of us in just this weird kind of funk, right? And sometimes we may not even realize or recognize that we're in a rut. So here are some tips that I thought might help to kind of help recognize if you are in a rut, and some ways to kind of, pull yourself kind of out of that hole that you're in. So tip number one is accept it. Don't deny it. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. So sometimes we'll just get so caught up with like a certain routine or just, our mundane kind of day-to-day things that we might fall into like a slight depression, or we may not even realize how discontent we are because we're just used to just a routine and what we do, and it just doesn't really dawn on us like there's more to life or I'm not really happy, so it's just kind of accepting that you are in a rut instead of just trying to, push it down or just be like, no, it's not a thing. Like I'm fine. That's our favorite thing to say when we're actually not fine all the time. So just acknowledge it is kind of the first thing, and then that way you can kind of work on, fixing the situation and making yourself feel kind of better. But you can't do that if you're in denial that you're even in a rut, right? Next is just identify the cause. Do some self exploration and just, ask yourself, like, what brings me joy? What stresses me out? What do I look forward to, in this season of my life? What things make me happy? What do I look forward to? What are some things that I can do to better take care of myself? It's just kind of just getting to know yourself over and over again, because we're constantly, or we should be, always evolving and growing, and not the same person that we were weeks ago or months ago or years ago. So sometimes when we fall into kind of a mundane pattern of doing things, and when we are in a rut, it's like you kind of have to rediscover yourself, and ask yourself, well, now the version of me that I am right now, what makes me happy? What do I maybe feel like I'm missing? What are some things that I can add to my schedule or add to my routine that will make me more content, or that will bring me joy? So just kind of just the process of getting to know yourself, rediscovering the things that can kind of make you feel a little happier, and get a little more pep in your step, and that can help you get out, of a rut that you could presently be in. And then after that, take a look at your goals and create some strategies to kind of help make them happen. We talked about goals a few videos ago, where we have to get really granular and really specific when we're setting goals, because a goal without any type of plan or strategy behind it is really just a thought, or it's a wish, and it's not something that you're really going to take seriously without actionable steps behind it. So just sit down, take some time, and just take a look at, some things that you had wanted to do, or goals that you wanted to attain, and write down your steps on how you're going to go about doing them. And I mean, get specific, like put dates, if it's something financial, put amounts, and what dates you're going to pay this amount of money, or what dates you're going to have this amount of money saved, or whatever the case might be. Or if it's like, I use weight loss in another video as an example, it's like, okay, don't just be general. Don't just say, hey, I want to lose weight. It's like, okay, why do you want to lose weight? How much do you want to lose? By when do you want to lose it? What steps are you going to go about to losing it? How are you going to adjust your diet? It's like you have to get really specific, and that can kind of help you if you are presently in a rut, because it can not only give you something to look forward to, but it can also make you feel like you're progressing and you're moving towards something. It can kind of give you a sense of accomplishment. So that's kind of a good rule across the board when it comes to goals, is just making sure that they are specific and they have attainable actions behind them. And that can kind of help you actually get on the right track to satisfying and meeting these goals, because you just have to have a strategy. Okay. And then remember self care. Take breaks when you need it. I talked before about how I am not a supporter of team no sleep and constant grind. It's like, no, you have to make time for rest. Just like your body gets tired and you need to go to sleep, the same can be said for your spirit, your brain, and your emotions. You cannot just go, go, go constantly and think that you are going to function at your best. That's not going to happen. So take breaks. Even if a lot of us now are working from home, even if you're working from home, make sure that you're taking breaks on a regular basis. Just kind of get up, walk around, take a 10-minute break and maybe catch up on one of your shows, or sit and read a book or something. Don't just feel like you have to constantly be doing something. A planner can be your best friend. I have a planner on my desk and I have my phone, and depending on what it is, pretty much just about like 90-95% of things I write on my physical planner, because I sit at my desk at some point every single day, and that kind of helps me. I know what's going on when I wake up in the morning, and then certain things I also have in my phone as alarms to go off. So that kind of helps me stay on track so that I don't get overwhelmed or overwork myself, and I don't take any breaks, and I don't do any self-care. So I would definitely offer that as a suggestion. It have some type of planner. Some people like digital, some people like physical, like physical planners, whatever works for you personally. But if you have to schedule breaks or alarms to go off in your phone, once an hour or every other hour, to make sure that you take a 5-10 minute break and you get up, then do that. Because I understand how sometimes we might get so caught up in a project or so caught up in a task that we will want to just sit and get it done, or we'll just sit there for hours and we'll look up and realize, okay, it's been 4 hours and I've been sitting here. So make sure that you take time to break from your work task, but also other things. Like, make sure that you have a balanced diet. Make sure that you're getting quality, keyword quality sleep, because all sleep is not quality. I remember a few days ago I went to an event, and it was kind of like a daytime day brunch event thing, and I had some mimosas kind of all through the afternoon. Now, me personally, mimosas don't make me drunk or anything like that, so I wasn't at all. But I remember that night my quality of sleep was just kind of horrible. Like, I just did not sleep well at all. So it's very important that you put certain things in your body to make sure that everything is balanced, so that when you do go to sleep, it's not just you laying there unconsciously, but you are getting a quality deep sleep that will make you feel refreshed and make it easier for you to be productive throughout your workday. And next, after that, be more impulsive. Sign up for volunteering near in your neighborhood. Say yes to someone who's been asking you on a date that may not be someone that's your type, but just go. Say yes to the date. Take a day trip to a nearby city or attraction. If it's just within a couple of hours away, you have an afternoon off or a day off or a morning off. Just hop in the car and just go. Do some things that aren't necessarily in your planner. Do some things that aren't necessarily on your agenda when you wake up in the morning. And that can also help you kind of get out of a mundane type of rut. It's just kind of doing things on a spur of the moment. Just kind of up and go, or up and do things, or just call up a friend and say, hey, let's go for a jog, or let's go grab a bite to eat, or whatever. Just kind of do things add some spontaneity to your life. And that can also help as well. And the last tip I want to give is break away from perfectionism. We can be so hard on ourselves sometimes, and we can just want things to be perfect. We sometimes want things to be exact, and we will not stop until we get this perfect, the way that we see it in our mind. Little steps, celebrate the little steps, appreciate the little steps that you are taking towards an ultimate goal or something that you want to achieve, and realize that everything doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you are trying, as long as you are working towards those goals, as long as you are doing things that are making you feel fulfilled and happy and alive and things like that, and just make you feel good about yourself, and that makes you more pleasant to be around, and it just makes you feel more content and more aligned and more centered. So don't strive to be perfect. Just strive to be your best self. Try to learn something new every day, and just try to show up as the best version of yourself and just continue to try to develop into the best you that you can be. Okay, guys, I hope you found value in this video. Do me a solid and smash that like button, and also feel free to share this with people that you may feel be in need, may be in need of this message. And drop me a note in the comments and tell me some other tools that I may not have mentioned that you use when you feel like you're kind of, in a rut and you're just kind of in like a repetitive type of pattern, and what you do to get yourself out of it. Okay, and also feel free to shop my store at mingcosmetics.com, where I have cosmetics and women's apparel and accessories. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next motivational video.